Good morning, it's Phil Thatch, and once again I am at the trailhead for Rainbow Lake Wilderness and Rainbow Falls. You may recall last time I came here, and I got to tell you, I don't ever want to do that again. I may never come to Rainbow Falls, which I didn't make it to today, but I attempted to get to Rainbow Falls and was unsuccessful. That day I really tried to rush and had all sorts of problems and tried to make shortcuts, and I said I may never come back, but I'm back again. I've got my sister's husband with me, and we're going to try to do this thing the right way. We even have food and water and all sorts of stuff so we can take our time. So let's see if we can get to Rainbow Falls. Historic Burnt Cabin Spring. That's the spring right there. Here's our first crossroads. We're going to make a left. We took a little side chute off of the main trail to kind of explore a little bit. This is a pretty neat little area. It's not part of the main trail, but it looks like it shortcuts its way down to the main trail. We're back on the main path now, and I really like the look of this rock outcropping. It almost looks like a bird of prey. There's the giant rock we were on a minute ago when we took the little side trail. I imagine this would be kind of a rock climber's paradise right here. A lot of handholds up there, it looks like. Not for me though, no thank you. Found another overlook here. This is a little side trail looking down at Middle Creek. It's the first time we've been able to see it good. So that is a dam, and the waterfall as the water spills over the dam here on Middle Creek. Upriver of that, or up creek of that, is Rainbow Lake. Well, we weren't really planning to stop here at Rainbow Lake and I guess it's the Rainbow Lake Dam, but it's so beautiful we had to. Look at that thing back there. It's awesome. And I got out the Z6 and used the 24-70 with a circular polarizer and made a few shots. I don't know if any of them are great, but I'll show them to you now. On this first shot, I tried to have a lot of nice foreground interest with the rocks and the log and a 45mm focal length. And on the second shot, I reduced my focal length to 24mm and moved slightly more to the left and kind of concentrated more on the creek itself, still keeping the beautiful waterfall in the distance. I got the Mavic Mini out for just a second and flew it over this dam waterfall here at Rainbow Lake, and it's a little bit windy here, and over the dam it's very windy. The Mavic Mini started flying backwards when I was telling it to fly forwards. It was a battle, but I was able to land it and not get caught up in all these trees that it was trying to go into and not land in the water. But in the end, I landed it in my hand. So that's definitely a win for today. And this spot that we didn't even plan on visiting is a win as well. So we're going to pack up and move on towards, hopefully, Rainbow Falls. This is just a little bit further downstream from the dam, and all of a sudden there's a, I'm not sure if you can even see it, there's a suspension bridge that goes across the creek, so we're going to check that out. This is the sign that's right at the bridge, and you'll notice that Rainbow Falls is not listed because it's not on the official trail. Here's all the wires that hold this suspension bridge. It's rated for 3 persons max, and that board with that sign was added much later. It looks like it'd be really slick, but there's some nice wood that you can use to grip with, and also that, I don't know, is that chicken wire? But it's not that slick. Oh, and they only have that on the steep parts. Once you get out to the flat middle, whoo, this thing's bouncy. It's also slick out here in the middle. But this is cool. Really beautiful. Well, I made it all the way across, and look what the trail looks like on this side. Not too good, although that may not actually be the trail. The trail probably actually goes this way. I see some indicator signs over there. Mushroom Rock is 5-mile hike from here. All right, going back. Bouncy, bouncy. That was awesome. Totally awesome. My walking partner pointed out these hemlock trees and said that it's nice to see young ones because in the wild, in other places he's hiked, they're kind of struggling. From Maine to Georgia, he says. They're being attacked by woolly adelgea bugs. Awesome. That they're doing well here, it looks like. Yeah. All right, if you don't go across that bridge, you keep going this way, and believe it or not, this ankle twisting disaster is the trail, as is noted by this Cumberland Trail sign. So I think we got, I'm not sure exactly how much further we have to go, but it'll be slow going the rest of the way. I mean, it's definitely a trail. You can follow it for sure, and every once in a while, like on that tree in the distance, there's a painted rectangle, but it's not easy hiking, at least not for my old self. We're climbing in altitude. It's a beautiful little spill right down there. Here's another trailblaze marked on the tree. Trail's pretty narrow here, but at least it's not all rocky. It's a lot easier to hike right here. Here's a spot where some trees have fallen across the trail and someone's come and chainsawed them. I think what I'm standing on right now, besides the Cumberland Trail, might be where Burning Springs makes its way down the side of the mountain. Look at here, we have run across another suspension bridge, much smaller. Maybe this is Burning Spring. Yeah, this has got a lot more power to it right here. It's kind of pretty. This trailblaze indicator is steel instead of painted. I wish I had brought my ultra wide lens. Here's another tributary coming down the side of the mountain that goes down into Middle Creek, and this one might be the spring that we crossed earlier. I'm really not sure which one is, but this one is beautiful with all the moss on the rocks. There is some more of the trail, pretty steep, but we're definitely on it because that tree's got white painted on the side of it. You can see the aluminum trail marker there, but look at that. Look at that ankle twisting nightmare. Steep slopes, no access to falls, keep on trail. Okay, so I'm standing right below that tree that has that sign on it, and I'm pretty sure that falls area right there is the falls that I came to last time I attempted to come to Rainbow Falls. And I'll put a link in the video right now to the video I made when I went there. There's another no access to falls sign, and there is Rainbow Falls. Pretty steep, but it looks like people have hiked here before. I'm gonna have to put this camera up. Okay, well, I'm switching over to vlogging with the cell phone. I put the vlogging camera up. My hiking partner has found what looks to be a little bit better route down to the falls. We came all the way down that mess, and once you get to here, there's a tree with the most non-load bearing looking rope I've ever seen that's supposed to help you get down this little staircase of rocks, which also has water flowing down it. But there's the prize right over there. Well, we made it down past all that mess to kind of a flat shelf here that I'm on, and then it's back to kind of straight down, but not too terribly bad here, not as bad as back there. I keep looking over at the prize to remind myself why we're doing this. Getting closer. This part of the video I'm making just to send to Heather. Hey Heather, look, Rainbow Falls. Still a pretty good ways above the falls on the hill, but probably 7/8 of the way down now. You just have to kind of make sure your foot's planted before you transfer weight to it. I haven't made it all the way down to the foot of the canyon yet, but this is the first spot with a clear view of the falls. So I went ahead and made a photo from here. My hiking partner's making photos about 30 yards up the cliff. I made this shot at f/16, 1/4 of a second, low 1 on the ISO. I'm really glad I took a moment to stop and go ahead and get my tripod out on the side of that terribly steep hill to make this photograph, because I like this vantage point of the falls and it makes for a really nice composition. I climbed all the way down here to set the tripod up on this rock in front of my feet, just kind of wobbling all over the place. I made a little bit of slow-mo video with the falls kind of in the background and this area of the creek in the foreground, and I made a couple of photos. I think 1/4 of a second was the shutter speed that worked the best. I'm using the 24-70 still and the circular polarizer. Now I'm going to kind of go over that way, climb my way back out of this. Look how I've got my camera just kind of fulcrumed against this rock. But anyway, I'm going to head around there and try to get some shots of the falls with the pool in front of it from ground level. I guess this is probably my favorite composition of the day. I really thought that the little rapid area below the waterfall was absolutely beautiful, and I'm glad I was able to figure out how to get those rapids in a photograph with at least a portion of the waterfall in the background. I'm making lots of different shots from right here. I've done vertical, I've done horizontal. Right now I'm shooting one with a 10-stop neutral density filter on for 30 seconds. I kind of like the looks of this falls at a 1/4 second, but I want to see what it looks like with a dreamy, extra long exposure. I made several different images from this looking straight at it point of view, and they were okay, but this is definitely my favorite of those. And I did try that 30-second exposure, and while it made the pool in front of the falls look nice, it made the falls look absolutely terrible. So I'm sticking with this 1/4 second vertical 4x5 shot as my favorite. I put the 70 to 210 millimeter push-pull zoom on. It's really too much lens to get a photograph of the entire falls, but I made some slow motion video of various detail areas of the falls that I hope will look beautiful in the video. Found some pretty cool mushrooms. I used the 70 to 210 millimeter lens for this shot as well, and I really like the way this turned out. The mushrooms are beautiful. I'm not sure what that thing sticking up in the middle of the two mushrooms was, but I did not want to remove it. Well, look at this. This is luxury waterfall photography because my hiking partner has brought and made for me peanut butter, honey, and banana sandwich. This may give me enough energy to climb back out of this insanity, but right now I'm just going to enjoy it. Made just a couple more shots after lunch from a slightly different composition that I think I might like better. I was using the 24-70 with the 3-stop ND and the circular polarizer to get my shutter speed about where I liked it. This slightly different composition is also kind of nice. It was a little bit later in the day, so I had to put the 3-stop ND on to get the shutter speed right, but I do like this one with the rock in the foreground as well. Well, I did fly the drone. It was giving me all sorts of error messages while it was up, but I flew it and we'll see how the footage comes out. Now I'm going to pack up and start the climb all the way up that. It's really been a thrill to come down here and see this waterfall, though. I wasn't sure I was ever going to get here. It is 12:41. I'm packed up and I'm going to try to hike out of here. 12:45 in 4 minutes. I'm already pretty winded and pretty far up the hill. Pretty good bit higher than the falls. Long way to go. 12:48. I'm taking a break. I'm gonna show you the view from here, though. It's pretty nice. That's the 12:48 view. Okay, 12:52, and I'm starting again. Whew. Okay, so we're back at the trailhead, or we're at the trail. It's not really a trailhead. We're at the trail where you can leave it and do crazy stuff to get to that waterfall. And we've decided to not go back the way we came. So we're going to go towards Signal Point, and I think there's a good overlook of the Tennessee River Gorge this way and an overlook of Julia Falls. So we'll accomplish this entire trail today instead of half of it twice. Here's another nice healthy hemlock. We're up on this big rock and we can kind of look down into the valley from here. We haven't made it to the Julia Falls overlook yet.
Can I go to that?
Okay, so we're not at the actual Julia Falls overlook, but this is the first view we've had of it. I've got my vlogging camera zoomed as far as it'll zoom, but you can see it over there, I think, in the distance. Well, you can't see it, but Julia Falls is back that way, and this is our first view. You might be able to see it down there of the Tennessee River Gorge. We're occasionally seeing Julia Falls. Now there's a little trail off of the trail. I'm thinking it may go to a Julia Falls overlook, so we'll try it out. Okay, so this is one of those watch that last step areas, but I'm hoping if I come over here to this very last little place right before the freaking precipice, that I can set my camera up and shoot back over bingo. Right over there is Julia Falls, and I've only got 210 millimeters to play with today, so let me see what I can do with it. Okay, I got a pretty good shot of Julia Falls from here. I'm at 210 millimeters on the 70 to 210 push-pull, and I've got a 3-stop neutral density filter on it and a circular polarizer. My settings are low 1 on the ISO, f/16, and 1/2 a second. I've already made a horizontal shot, and I'll probably do a vertical one too, but really to get this falls nice and tight in the frame, you're going to need more power than 210 millimeters. Now, I did make some video, and I used DX mode in the camera for the video, and so that makes this 210 of whatever 210 times 1.5 is, 300 and something, and was able to fill the frame a lot more with it in the video. So I'll show you some slow motion video of Julia Falls from here as well. While I would have liked to have been carrying a larger lens, I still am pretty happy with the photo I was able to get with only 210 millimeters of Julia Falls. That's the rock formation that we were on a moment ago when we were looking out across at Julia Falls. All right, so this is probably the actual proper Julia Falls overlook that we're arriving at now, and it's nice because you can see the Tennessee River really good from here, and you can look back across in that direction and see Julia Falls. Let me zoom in a little bit. Continuing along this trail, there's, even if you're not where one of the named views is, there's cool stuff to see. That is a huge rock right there. We were just down there, then we came up a really steep and dilapidated staircase, and now there's this little wooden bridge slash walkway thing, which is very wobbly. The walking part's not. I'm kind of more fond of this cable railing than I am that wooden one that's, even though they're both pretty wobbly. The path kind of zigzags up the mountain for a little ways right here, gaining a lot of elevation in not a lot of distance. Okay, so we're doubling back again now, doing some more serious elevation gain in not a lot of distance. These stairs, while somewhat dilapidated, are in a lot better shape than that one that I failed to record. And now we're level again for a little ways. I just built this little porch for no apparent reason, because there's not really any spectacular view right there, and the path is right here. Whew, more serious elevation gain. More dilapidated stairs, but first you have to get up this, which of course, compared to climbing down to the falls off of the trail, this is nothing. Well, we've made it to here, 9/10 of a mile past Julia Falls Overlook, 1.4 miles from that Middle Creek Bridge, but we are still climbing. We still haven't made it to the parking lot for, I think it's called Signal Point. Oh, it's beautiful up here. Look at that old tree. Yeah, this is really pretty. Okay, so this is the Signal Point Overlook. The view's particularly good down that way. You can come down here and have a picnic. Okay, well, we've made it all the way from the trailhead for Rainbow Lake. Went to Rainbow Lake, cut back all the way past Middle Creek Falls and the Julia Falls Overlook, and now we're at the other end of the trail at Signal Point, and I guess we're done for the day. We are going to walk on the road back to where our car is, which is shorter. Thanks a bunch for watching. Hope you have a great day, and maybe I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.